A freak intense thunderstorm with winds of up to 70 miles per hour rips through Adams County this evening.
Yeah, certainly hope everybody out there is safe. Damage is so widespread that Quincy Mayor Kyle Moore declared a state of emergency for the city.
Here's the beginning of the supercell storm that blew into Quincy tonight and wreaked havoc. Look at that clear line of the storm rolling in. We are seeing trees down, power outages, and gas leaks throughout our viewing area.
Quincy residents are in disbelief after that storm with extreme straight line winds came through the area. And our own Dave Holder says that wind was between 70 and 80 miles per hour. Certainly can believe that.
The power is now back on, but some scary moments on the north side of Quincy yesterday afternoon that left a lot of folks without power. Crews arrived at North 22nd and Spruce at about 5:50 last night. Assistant Fire Chief Tom Bentley tells KHQA leaking oil on the transformer caused the fire to ignite at the substation. Crews had to take extra precautions to maintain their safety.
Strong winds crushed this traffic light at 33rd and Broadway in Quincy. It was still blinking red.
Right now you're looking at a shot taken from 5th and Main in Quincy across from Washington Park. A top-story balcony fell straight down to the sidewalk.
The driver of this Target semi was taken to the hospital with minor injuries after his truck tipped in those straight-line winds near Taylor, Missouri.
This is between Hampshire and Main Street, near between 5th and 6th, where bricks fell from this building into an alley. Those bricks fell in front of a restaurant, as you can see right there, and those winds really just caused that whole wall to collapse. Power lines, trees, gas lines, wires down. We start our team coverage tonight with KHQA's Jack Pluta live outside a home on South 4th and State.
Yeah, Ross, Raj, I've driven around Quincy all night, and by far this is the worst damage that I saw. We're at 513 South 4th Street, and as you can see, an enormous tree has fallen on this house, all but destroying the front end and even the back end. A homeowner says that she was at work, and that's when she got the call, totally distraught when she laid eyes on her house, what used to be her house. She was most worried about the cats that were in her house. She said she had a few cats. She was even trying to break the window to allow some air, as they thought they saw smoke and maybe even a little bit of fire in that house. I had a chance to talk with many residents in Quincy today who say that this is something that they've never seen before.
And to see all this is bananas, man. We was all up in the studio listening to music, getting ready to go. And boom, bow, it got dark. Now look at it. It was ridiculous and fast. Trees started coming into on Main Street, things were falling, the trash can behind us fell.
If you are the homeowner of this house, we do believe just a couple of minutes ago we did see your cats running by, so you might want to come and check that out.
You know, I actually went back to my house too to check on my cats, and I live, near downtown, and my goodness, I couldn't believe how much tree damage there was out there. That storm was so intense, and it picked up so quickly and actually started moving so fast too. Got up to about 60 miles per hour east, and you could see it right there at the beginning of the loop there of the radar. Just as it went over Quincy, moved very quickly to the east-southeast.
This is Ameren, Illinois' outage map throughout west central Illinois. Current outage numbers as of about 10 minutes ago. Adams County hit incredibly hard there, as you see on the left side of your screen. About 21,000 outages in Adams alone. Now the wind knocked out power, trees, and you see some of the more damage here that we haven't gotten to show you yet.
I've never seen trees lay completely on the ground. And we lost a 70-foot pine tree here on the side of the house. Fascia blew off. I saw road construction signs going down the street, and a little bit of everything going with it.
Cleaning is already underway at that business where those powerful winds blew right through the windows, shattering the glass. A showroom and a garage were damaged in that storm, and workers took to brooms to clean up the area outside of the showroom.
And you're looking at a tree uprooted across the street from Quincy High School. This is one of the more remarkable images we saw tonight. Now just further down the road, just past the intersection of 30th and Main, this tree partially blocked traffic. Water flowing like a river, a sight we're all used to seeing lately. Now several trees down between 36th and 48th Street in Quincy. Some completely uprooted, and some were just blocking the road. Just like the rest of Quincy, a lot of limbs and debris as well. Let's go to Emily Andrews on the phone with Adams County EMA. She is the Public Information Officer.
We know that there's over 21,000 connections without power tonight, and Ameren is still assessing the extent of the damage, so they don't really have an estimated time when the power will be turned back on.
Currently, I'm standing at Quincy University. I was at 17th and Chestnut, where police had roped off the intersection because of dangerous debris lying, and also the hanging tip of a utility pole in that intersection. We had to move back for safety precautions. And like I said, now on the campus of Quincy University, we want to make sure that you know that at 9:10 this evening, Quincy University did make the formal announcement that school and all programming and activity on campus tomorrow is canceled. Again, all activity on Quincy University campus is canceled for tomorrow.
This damage happened all across Adams County, stretching into Pike County, over to Cass, Morgan, and Scott County.
Even all the way to Morgan into Jacksonville.
Good morning, guys. For most people here in Quincy and in Adams County, this is what the area looks like. But once the sunrise, this is what they're going to see.
We are driving through Quincy right now. We just turned onto one of these side streets, and you can see all of the rubble and the damage from the trees that were knocked down due to yesterday's storm.
Last night's storm caused many sidewalks to do this as a result of having a tree attached, and then came down on a car right here outside of one resident's home. There are power lines going along the tree up at the top over there. Obviously, Ameren, they are out working. They've been working all night long.
Just the side of town that we're on right now, seems like nobody has any power, but just so many trees down side streets.
It completely brought the sidewalk up and just tipped over as we crossed the road quickly. We have even more damage now. Trees everywhere, in the roads, in the parks, just everywhere. Yesterday when I was on Main Street, you could see that trees were just covered across the street.
You can see we actually have to already turn around just as we started driving here. It's blocked off by the yellow tape. Trees are just covering the street.
This is just one area here in Quincy. We've been driving around all morning down side streets, back roads, residential neighborhoods, and this is what you see. Trees, branches, rubble, all of it.
Really unbelievable what Main Street looks like. Very dangerous.
This massive tree has just completely crossed over the road here on Lynn Street, and then it knocked over in front of that person's yard over there on top of their tree, and even along these power lines. Now, if you follow the power lines, you can even see up at the top over there, there is debris. You can see behind me that if you look up along the trees, branches just completely snapped off. We are in a state of emergency right now.
What does it mean? You've declared a state of emergency. What do you need to tell people that means this morning?
Right now, we're working with not only crews from the city, crews from the Park District, and also private contractors.
Ameren crews have been working nonstop to restore power to Quincy residents. About 1,000 Ameren workers from in and out of town. All Quincy Park District facilities are now closed this Wednesday morning. This is due to the significant damage the parks experienced over from that storm. All of their programs and classes are canceled as well.
In the wake of Monday night's damage and power outages, County Market and the Croc Center are offering free meals to anyone in need.
And we got to keep this door shut because this cooler has to stay between 36 and 38 degrees.
The clock was ticking in fast for many restaurants as the power outages proved to be a major problem when it comes to preventing food from spoiling. Taco Bell at 38th and Broadway was one of several restaurants still without power yesterday. Owner Wayne Doria says that his staff had to move about 1,400 pounds of beef out of the cooler into extra storage space at the Taco Bell at 8th and Broadway.
The one thing always remains is just make sure the food stays at temperature so everybody's safe.
Well, the clock was ticking even faster at the McDonald's at 13th and Broadway, where this sign told customers it was closed as well. Store owner Greg Shireling says he had trouble calling in freezer truck companies to help store food as phone lines were down.
Today, everybody is breathing a sigh of relief as the majority of Quincy has regained power. Still debris, but a lot of cleanup has been in progress. As you see behind us, we still have this tree here that's on Lynn and 15th Street, the one that completely ripped up out of the sidewalk and just went all the way down over on the power cords. Now, of course, that is one of the main issues that we have. So we turn to Craig from Ameren. Can you tell us why is this such a dangerous job, and how long does the process take?
This is just one example of some of the complications we have when major storms roll through an area like Quincy with a lot of vegetation. You know, what we'll have to do in this situation is we'll bring line crews in. They'll have to make sure the line's de-energized, grounded, so the forestry crews can come in and safely remove it, and then we'll have to repair the poles and wire that were damaged because a tree came down.
And out on the roads in Quincy, Bonnet Drive is closed this week from Cooks Lane to Cedar Street while crews burn and remove debris from July's windstorm. Cedar Street also is closed from 3rd Street to Bonnet Drive. That burning is expected to take 4 to 5 days. Now, 2 other roads will close for asphalt repair this week in Quincy. Both Main Street between 14th and 18th Street, as well as 12th Street between Cherry Lane and St. Charles Drive, also will be closed tomorrow.
It's long and tiring, but we're getting through it.
Andrea Stolte's Taylor, Missouri home could not be saved from flood damage. So he's tearing it down, burning the ashes, and starting over again.
We're just going to put in a concrete floor with some drains. If the water gets up high, we can just go ahead and power wash it and be back in business in no time.
Stolte is one of many whose lives changed in an instant.
Came home from work and was told to pack what I could and started sandbagging.
Amanda Tournier was able to grab 1 month's worth of clothes for her and her daughter before flooding ruined her home at this North Fabius trailer park. Thankfully, Stolte and Tournier found help thanks to efforts from the local Red Cross and Salvation Army, which brought in multiple agencies to help families recover.
Families and individuals can come here, figure out what their needs are, and learn what resources are available.
Families also received essential items such as food, mosquito spray, and sunscreen while they wait to find a new home. Marion County Emergency Management Director John Hark says local agencies are doing all they can. He hopes to see more assistance from the federal government.
You know, it's kind of like federal government, you're going to have to wake up and realize that we got problems in Missouri. I mean, they talk about droughts in California and forest fires here and there. We got problems in Missouri.
For folks like Tournier, any help is good help.
You see it all the time on TV and you think, oh, that'll never happen to us. You know, we won't have that happen here. And then when it does happen and you just see the community, or the surrounding community come in and help you, it's just amazing.
Flooding on the Illinois River continues to devastate many tri-state communities with near record-setting flood levels. KHQA's Jack Pluta takes you to Valley City tonight, where the river is cresting right now.
Roger, we go from Meridosha right here in Valley City, where the Illinois River is doing much of the same, overflowing its banks. Take a look at what we saw this afternoon. This is at Highway 2 and County Highway 21 at the intersection. Obviously, for the foreseeable future, County Highway 21 will be closed for quite a while until the river drops. Right now, the river will crest about today and probably into tomorrow at 25.6 feet. Now, the record for cresting is 27 feet, so 2 feet below that all-time record that has been set. Now, I had a chance to speak with a couple gentlemen today who have ties to Valley City. This is what they saw today.
It's the highest I've ever seen it, no matter flood month or no. We were down here in '93 when that big flood was, and it wasn't this high then.
Holy moly, the tavern's underwater. It's really bad for everybody. They gotta move out in the cold weather and the ice and cold water. It's not good.
The Illinois River still doing damage in Valley City and will continue to do damage for quite a while. The river isn't expected to reach moderate flood stage, which is 21 feet, until January 12th. Reporting in Valley City, I'm Jack Pluta. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
2 people are now dead this morning in separate incidents. It was discovered that a vehicle had been driven into floodwaters on 190th Street north of Lewistown. The strong, swift current pulled the vehicle with 2 people inside into the creek. The driver, 33-year-old Leonette Phillips of LaBelle, was found dead downstream from where her vehicle was. Phillips was pronounced dead at noon by the Lewis County coroner. The vehicle passenger did survive.
The emergency crews responded to the call at the campsite around 3 o'clock yesterday morning. Once on scene, they found a tree had fallen on the RV. 25-year-old Andrew Irvin was pronounced dead.
Severe weather over the weekend led to this sinkhole here in the Ellington Township on Columbus Road, just west of 72nd Street. Now, as you can see, the road has completely collapsed into the river.
It took about 5 minutes to do all this damage.
Just 5 minutes. That's all the time Wednesday's storm needed to do this.
A semi was coming through and literally just laid it on its side and brought a big pole down behind us where we're standing. All the power lines that come up through all the towns here go through these power lines, so we're completely without power and will be for a while.
The overturned semi closed Highway 96 that runs through Lima. Drivers are asked to use an alternate route to get through town.
Right there, that's where it was.
And this was the scene in one backyard as winds knocked over this shed 20 feet from where it once stood. Lima residents say they didn't think the storm would hit as hard as it did.
I thought it was just going to be a normal storm, like showers and lightning as typical.
It was scary. My daughter and everybody was like, Mom, is there a tornado? Is there a tornado? I'm like, you'll be fine.
Stephen Brashears of the Lima Tioga Fire Department says the storm reminded him of the storm that hit Quincy in July.
It was shorter, but it had actually just a hair more power. To me, that's what it felt like to me. I was in my truck and I had things pelting me as if it was a tornado or something. You know, it was shorter, but it had the punch. It had the same amount of punch. I know because I was in both of them.